Hey folks, welcome back. So far we have seen the fundamental data types. Now let's take a step further. Let's see the list data type. We'll make a new folder inside Python. We have completed 8 topics. This is the 9th one. So we'll name the folder 9_list. We will divide the list into two parts. So I'll create another folder inside 9list, that is 1 basic properties. Let's first understand what the list is and why we need it. We have seen integer data type and we can store a single value in an int. But what if we have to store many values in a single variable? We can assume that there is a teacher who wants to store the marks of all the students in a single place in roll number wise. If he uses different variables to store this, there will be a huge problem. He has to retrieve the marks by calling each variable. If he wants to delete or update the whole list or to perform some other operation, then it will be very time consuming. And if he forgets the name of any variable, then the marks will be lost. So he needs a data type where he can store all the marks in a sequence. So we can introduce a data type that can store these marks, and it is easy to walk through this data for lookup, insertion or deletion. So let's see. We'll make a new file a.py. The main thing for any programming concept is its syntax. We can have different syntax of different data types. The syntax for any loop, method, constructor or any code block. The syntax for the list is square brackets. We can write as many values as we want inside square brackets, and the values are separated by comma. The list has some properties which separate it from other similar data types like tuple and set. We will see each property in each example. So let's see. Let's name the variable lst is equal to opening and closing square brackets. Currently, we don't have any value inside our list. So here, how can we confirm that the syntax is list only? How can we confirm its data type? So far we have seen this in each data type. I'm looking forward to hear from you all. So I'm not telling, you guys will, okay? And we'll run this example. See, we are getting no error. Let's print our list. Print lst and print. I'm leaving this for you. I hope that you will complete this. You have to write the name of the function which returns the data type. Okay. And now running a.py. See, here empty list is printed. So we can create an empty list. It is legal. So list can be empty. Now let's make new example b.py. lst is equal to 2, 4, 7, 984. And now print lst and print type of lst. Let's run this. See, the type of this data is class list and the list is represented by square brackets. Okay. Now new example c.py. X is equal to 12, 53, 56, 86 and a random big value. Print type of x and print x. Now running c.py. Okay, so here our list has a very large number and no error is coming. So we can see that there is no limit to store the data. Okay, so we can put the data of any size inside the list. Okay, so we can write no limit to store data. Okay, now a new example, d.py. Here we have list is equal to 12, 14, 65, 87, 23, 12 and print list. Here we have 12 two times. Okay, so let's run d.py. Okay, the list is printed as it is without errors. Okay, so here we can conclude that we can store duplicate values in the list. So we can write duplicate records are allowed. Okay, now let's see a new example, e.py. list is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and print list. And now running e.py. Notice the list is printed in the same order in which it was written. Means the list maintains the order of insertion. Okay, so I'll write list maintains the order of insertion. Okay, now a new example, f.py. Let list is equal to 12, true, 45.33 and string leader and print list. See, in this list we are storing different types of values, that is 12 is integer, true is boolean, 45.33 is float and leader is string. So is that legal on the list? Let's see. Running f.py. Okay, we are getting the list as it is. So the list allows us to store the different types of records in it. So we can say list can contain heterogeneous records. Okay, this is another property of list. And now new example, g.py. Let x is equal to 1, 2, 3 and print x square bracket 0. So now here I have to tell you that list support indexing. Indexing means referring to an element of an iterable by its position within the iterable. Here our iterable is list. Iterable means on which we can iterate or repeat. And we are referring to the first element of the list. This is a way to fetch an element from a list. In other programming languages, we retrieve the elements of the array in this way. And the index of the first element of the list is 0. So where the natural counting starts from 1, indexing starts at 0. So the first element has the index 0 and the last element has the index length -1. So here by writing x of 0, we'll get the first element. Okay, so let's run. See, our first element is 1. Okay, remember the syntax for indexing is square brackets. Okay, so what do you think the type of x of 0 is? Let's see. Print type of x of 0. and running g.py class int. Okay, here firstly the list object is created, then int object is created and its reference is passed in the list, and similar is for other values. For each value a new object is created. Okay, we can see this in detail in the next example. So making a new example, h.py x is equal to 12, true, 12.3, leader and string, and will print type of x of 0, type of x of 1, type of x of 2 and type of x of 3. So in this we have 4 types of variables: int, boolean, float and string. So for all these different values, different new objects are created. Okay, so let's run. See, x is of class list, x0 is of class int, x1 is of class bool, x2 is of class float and x3 is of class string. So let's see what's happening here. Here an empty list object is created first and its reference is stored in the variable x. Then we assign our first value to list, that is 12. So 12 is of type int. So firstly an int object is created and then its reference is assigned to the first index of list, that is index 0. And list will grow as we append values in the list. Then next value true is assigned. So object of class boolean is created with value true and its reference is assigned to x of 1. Now the float object with value 12.3 is created and its reference is stored in x of 2. And at last the string object is created and its reference is stored in x of 3. See, the values itself are not stored in the list. Instead, the reference of the objects are stored. Okay. So these were some basic properties of list. Let's recap. The first property was list can be empty. Next was there was no limit to store the data in the list. We can store the data of any size. Then third was duplicate records are allowed in the list. Fourth was list maintains the order of insertion, means we can fetch the records from the list in that order in which they were stored. Then fifth was list can store heterogeneous records, means we can store records of different data types in a single list. And at last we saw list supports indexing. See, these two properties, list supports indexing and it maintains the order of insertion, are interrelated. If list does not maintain the order of insertion, then we will get the items in random order, and if we print the list it will be different each time, and in that case indexing was not possible, you see. But the case is not like this. We will get the same items on the same order, the order in which they are stored. So I hope you all understood these properties, and we are not yet done with the basics of list. We'll see some more properties in the next lecture. So see you there.